Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona, and hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. NFL Week 2, Sunday, and we're going to throw in Monday as well. So we're not going to do a separate Monday show for the Eagles and Falcons. We're going to throw it all in the mix as there was pretty much everything open. Now, I will remind you there are Google Sheets where you can see all of our bets and, what juice we got them at, how many units we wagered, all that kind of fun stuff. These will be updated as there's still player props being dropped as we're recording this, but we wanted to get you this information as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So let's get started. We'll get started with the 10 a.m. Pacific Coast games and 1 p.m. Eastern games. And get you started with all the plays that we've got going on. First game up, Raiders-Ravens. Line currently somewhere around 8, 41.5 roughly total on that one. Ravens favored. Raiders look like dog doo-doo against the Chargers. And I would consider the Ravens defense a little bit better. Gardner Minshew struggled. Running game struggled. That is not what you want to see heading against that Ravens defense. I think, and by the way, a couple good pass rushers for the Raiders here. I think, honestly, the best way to beat the Raiders is to run the ball, which is going to set up real nice for the Ravens, Derrick Henry, and Lamar Jackson in this one. Justin Hill's probably going to have to get in there and get some runs in as well because Henry, otherwise, he's going to need a blow on this one there. I think they run Henry a lot. They should have ran him a little bit more in KC. That was the way to beat the Chiefs. They decided to throw it a little bit more or run it with Lamar a lot. If they get Lamar under center, Henry looks 10 times better than he does out of the shotgun. I understand Lamar likes the shotgun. Under center, this team looks like a different team. Not only does play action pass come out of that, but running, like Henry running one way, Lamar running another. Who the hell do you go after, right? So let's give you all the bets that we've got going on here for this Raiders and Ravens game. So we are not on a side or the totals itself, but we do love a ton of stuff in this game. Raiders under 16.5 team total. Derrick Henry over 70.5 rush yards. I know we got this a few days ago. It's already up to 74. If you like Derrick Henry in this game, you better get on now. Zay Flowers over 52.5 receiving yards. Brock Bowers is a good target for Minshew to find, and he should be open quite a bit. We believe in this game here as well, over 35.5 passing yards. We think the Minshew and the Raiders are going to be down early, so they're going to have to throw the ball over 204.5 pass yards, over 32 half pass attempts, and an interception for Minshew, all of those. And then Brock Bowers over 3.5 receptions. Next game up, 49ers, Vikings. This line was, 6.5, 7? Now it's down to roughly 5 at some books. Vikings at home looked really good against the Giants, though, in week 1 on the road. Sam Darnold looked solid. Didn't have to do much in the second half as they already had a big lead. Justin Jefferson and the guys, it looks like a good offense, right? Aaron Jones looks solid. He hasn't got hurt yet. 49ers, McCaffrey's out again. Thank you for, I've drafted McCaffrey, by the way, like twice in 5 years in fantasy, and both years he can't stay healthy. So, number 1 pick wasted one more time. Why not? Which means you're not picking in a 12-man league, which really means you're not picking until 24. It happens, right? What are you going to do? Should have went with who I wanted, but I couldn't trade out of the one spot. So it felt like if I didn't pick McCaffrey and he has another blow-up year, which he's had multiple years with the 49ers, you look like a complete idiot, right? So anyway, this particular game, though, going to be a tough game for the 49ers here. Obviously, come off a big week 1 win against the Jets, but at home, right? Now they go to Minnesota. It should be, I expect the Minnesota to blitz the hell out of them like Brian Flores defenses do. I expect the Vikings to be able to throw the ball as they play a lot of zone coverage for the 49ers. Run games on both sides should be decent, but I expect more in the air in this one. Let's give you all the plays we've got here for 49ers Vikings. So once again, we are not on a side or a total on this one, but we do have a lot of stuff we like in this one. Sam Darnold, over 226.5 pass yards. I believe they're going to have to throw the ball in order to beat him. Sam Darnold, over 33.5 pass attempts. And when we're throwing the ball that much, a Sam Darnold interception is going to go in there as well. Aaron Jones, under 49.5 rush yards. Justin Jefferson, over 79.5 receiving yards. I understand that line might have went up to 80-ish, but just to give a heads up. Sam Darnold over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and which was plus money. And then Vikings over 19.5 team total in that one there. So a lot of Sam Darnold stuff. 226 pass yards, 33.5 pass attempts, interception, and 2 TDs. Aaron Jones under rush yards. Justin Jefferson over receiving yards. Vikings to score 20 plus. All right, next game up. Saints Cowboys. This line's fluctuated as well. Cowboys are favored by 6 at home. Total at 46.5. Cowboys scored 33 points last week, and the offense really didn't do much. Saints scored 47 last week, but it snowballed on Carolina. You could just tell it was one of those quicksand kind of games. Once they got stuck, it just got worse. You know, they win 47-10. That was at home. Now they got to go, are on the road at Dallas. Dallas, much better team here, I think, overall. Marshall Lattimore, by the way, is out for the Saints. Big loss there going against, like, CeeDee Lamb in their secondary. Cowboys should be able to hold up. Defense is better for the Cowboys, I believe, and offense is better here. I'm not a huge Dak Prescott fan, but when you compare him to Derek Carr, he's like a world champion. So, in this game here, let's give you all the plays we've got for this Cowboys game. Cowboys minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 3.5 first half, minus 6 for the game. Cowboys over 27.5 team total. Dak over 251.5 pass yards. Carr for an interception. Dak over 1.5 passing touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb over 85.5 receiving yards. And Alvin Kamara under 50.5 rush yards. So one more time, these Cowboys first quarter, first half game. Over to score 28 plus. Dak for 252 and 2 touchdowns plus. Carr for a pick. CeeDee Lamb over 86 plus, and then we've got Kamara under 50 yards there. Next game up, Chargers Panthers. This is we had one game in week 1 where we had no bets in. This is the game in week 2. It's not that we design this every week to have one game, nothing, but I still don't know what the Chargers are going to be overall. Impressive win against the Raiders, but it was the Raiders, folks. It wasn't like they came out and beat the Chiefs or they beat the one of the better teams out there, the Ravens, or or let's say the Bills or the Jets or the Steelers. They didn't come out and beat one of those teams. They beat the Raiders. I love Antonio Pierce, but they might be a little bit over their head, and Minshew's a nice piece to have, especially as a backup quarterback or a fringe starter. If he's going to be a starter, though, you have to give him a ton of weapons. Unfortunately, the Raiders don't. I mean, they've got some weapons, but the offensive line's a little bit, not fantastic. They couldn't get up. The Chargers ran the ball down the Raiders' throat. I expect the Chargers to run the ball here a lot as well. They're favored by 5.39 at the total. Should expect a low-scoring kind of grind-them-out game. And the Chargers on the road typically are not high-flying offense. So we're staying away from that game. But I'm assuming we'll be on a Chargers game here before too long in the season, just trying to get a read exactly on what they're going to be. Next game up, Tampa Bay Bucks and the Detroit Lions. This line's at 7 and a hook in a lot of spots, or 7. Total of 51, which has been bet down. I'm kind of shocked here. On this one here, I thought this thing was going to kind of go up, but it got up to 52, then back down to 51. We grabbed it when the line opened at 51. We do love the total here and over. Let's give you all the bets here for Bucks-Lions. Bucks-Lions over 9.5 total first quarter, 24.5 first half, 51 for the game. Bucks to score 21 plus over team total there. Baker over 261.5 pass yards. Baker for 2 plus touchdowns. Godwin over 57.5 receiving yards. Rashad White over 25.5 receiving yards. Baker over 37.5 longest completion. Then let's get over to the Lions side. St. Brown, who will bounce back this week, over 80.5 receiving yards. Jamison Williams is questionable right now, but if he's in there, that dude is lightning in a bottle, over 45.5 receiving yards, and he bumped up to the 2 receiver as they finally got rid of that bum Josh Reynolds who couldn't catch anything there. And then also Goff over 36.5 yards longest completion. So basically over team total for the Bucks. Baker over pass yards and a couple touchdowns. Godwin to have another good game. Rashad White in the air, and then Baker to throw obviously a long ball as well. Mike Evans would probably see one of those. And then St. Brown, Jamison Williams, and Goff to throw a long one to Jameson down there as well. All right, next game up. Colts, Packers. Colts favored by 3 going to Green Bay. I understand Jordan Love's not going to play. Questionable. Come on, folks. Do we really see the play? He's not playing. Just, and this is LaFleur saying, I'm not telling you what we're going to do. Expect Malik Willis in there. Anthony Richardson for the Colts. The Colts lose a tough game week 1. At home, in division against the Texans. Texans played well. They scored 27 points. Everybody's excited about them. Everybody loves Anthony Richardson. There's a difference between a fantasy quarterback and a good quarterback. Anthony Richardson, when playing, will be a good fantasy quarterback. Why? He adds a lot of run yards. He throw deep balls, so if you got bonuses for deep passing touchdowns or stuff like that. Also, he's going to get the ball probably at the goal. You know, when they're around the goal line, him and Jonathan Taylor are going to dominate a lot of stuff. Packers, I understand Malik Willis at quarterback, Josh Jacobs. I promise you they will grind this game out. It is hard to win in Green Bay against backups. And this Packers team has a lot more than just Jordan Love. Jaden Reed, love him. If Malik Willis can find him. Josh Jacobs, nice addition. They will find ways, I think, to score points. And that defense for the Packers, definitely able to stop, I think, a run game in the Colts. And should be able to limit them in the passing game as well. So, like I said, 340.5 is how that thing's at. And let's give you all the bets we've got in this one here. We actually like the under in this game, 40.5. Like I said, I think they're going to grind this out, make this thing close. So, let's give you all those plays. Colts Packers under 7.5 first quarter, under 20.5 first half, under 40.5 for the game. Anthony Richardson, interception. Michael Pittman, under 59.5 receiving yards. Wasn't remotely close to that week 1. And Colts, under 21.5 team total. One more time, Colts Packers, under 40.5 for the game, 7.5 first quarter, 20.5 first half. Richardson for a pick. Pittman under 59.5 receiving yards. Colts under 21.5 team total in that one. Next game up, Jets, Titans. Jets, you know, they looked rusty. This is what happens when you don't play at all in the preseason. You're basically donating the first couple games. The one thing the Jets cannot do, or some of these other teams, I don't understand why they're donating a couple games early in the season. Why not try to get ahead of the curve, and that way you can have a couple of falters down the road, instead of basically, all right, our backs are against the wall because we're going to be 0-2, 1-2, something to that effect, and we're trying to, you know, fight our way out of it rather than be 2-1 or 3-0. And, you know, being on easy street. Anyway, Jets go to Tennessee here. 3.5 point favorite for the Jets. Total of 41. Titans looked fantastic in the first half against the Bears on the road and absolutely died in the second. It was interceptions, block punts, returns. They could not get anything going in the second half. Let's give you all the bets here for Jets Titans that we've got as well. So we do like Breece Hall. Over 70.5 rush yards. Will Levis, interception. Breece Hall, over 26.5 receiving yards. Jets, over 22.5 team total. Titans, under 18.5 team total. So one more time in that game, Breece Hall, over 70.5 rush yards, over 26.5 receiving yards. Will Levis for a pick. Jets, over 22.5 team total. Titans, under 18.5 team total. All right, let's get on to the next game, shall we? Seahawks-Patriots, everybody's favorite game of the week. Seahawks get a win, 26-20. After playing like crap in the first half, Geno pulls it out against those hapless Broncos and Bo Nix. And the Patriots, put the hammer down against Cincinnati. Cincinnati kind of helped them a little bit there. Couldn't complete a pass on third down to save their life. Therefore, couldn't move the ball. Game in New England, 1-0 teams here. Home team getting 38.5. Let's give you the games. The total's where it's sitting now. We like the under in this one again. Patriots games this year, folks, I promise you we'll probably make a ton of money, but it will be on the underside, as I don't know if they can make the line low enough. So Seahawks Pats under 7.5 first quarter, 19.5 first half, 38.5 for the game. Geno Smith interception. Patriots under 17.5 team total. Seahawks under 20.5 team total. One more time. Seahawks Pats under 38.5 total, 7.5 first quarter, 19.5 first half, Geno Smith for a pick. Patriots under 17.5 team total. And Seahawks under 20.5 team total. Next game up, Browns, Jags. Browns look like dog doo-doo. A lot of turnovers. That'll just kill you. Jacksonville played really well against Miami, and then late still couldn't get nothing going. Here's my issue with Jacksonville. They do a lot of rinky-dink, throw the ball short, or kind of like misdirection plays. I honestly think if you let Trevor Lawrence go back there and grip it and rip it, you're much better off. More of a traditional type NFL offense. Sometimes Doug Peterson tries to be a little bit fancy with this, like, oh, let's get everybody going to the left and we'll break it up to the right. Or why is Tank Bigsby in this damn game so much instead of your star running back and Travis Etienne? Bigsby, I understand he needs to get a blow, but why is he getting more carries than Etienne is? That does not make any sense. Etienne needs to be heavily involved in the offense. Etienne, Ingram, Brian Thomas, Christian Kirk, all those dudes should be eaten. They've got a signal caller back there. They've paid them the money. Let's get this thing figured out. Anyway, Browns, Jags. Jags 3-point home favorite. Totals at 41.5. Let's give you the plays in this one. We like the over here. We think last year the Browns, they've got a great defense, but almost every road game was over for them. So over 7.5 first quarter, 20.5 first half, 41.5 for the game. Trevor Lawrence over 224.5 passing yards. Deshaun Watson to throw an interception. What a week he's having, right? Again, with the massage stuff. Ingram over 40.5 receiving yards. Amari Cooper should have a pretty good game, though, against that secondary. Over 57.5 receiving yards as Jacksonville's top corner is out. And then Travis Etienne over 17.5 receiving yards. So one more time in that one, Browns, Jags, over 7.5 first quarter, 20.5 first half, 41.5 for the game. Trevor Lawrence to throw the ball for 225. Watson for a pick. Ingram for 41 plus. Cooper for 58 plus. And Etienne for 18 plus through the air as well. Next game up, Giants, Commanders, one of our favorite games of the week. Commanders at home, 1.5 point favorite roughly at the moment. 43.5 total. Giants looked like dog doo-doo last week. Commanders didn't look a ton better. Tampa Bay is a legit team, a legit playoff team, though. A team I think that, we picked them to win the NFC South again, as I thought the hype was well overstated there for Atlanta. As Kirk Cousins is probably going to struggle, I assume, for a few weeks coming back from that Achilles on that one as well. And then, they didn't help out their pass rush at all. I mean, they got Matthew Judon, but they should have took Dallas Turner. That was one of the dumbest draft moves I might have ever seen, but that remains to be seen there. You're going to sit a dude for a minimum of 2 years because you're not going to have a $50 million backup quarterback, right? So Giants look like dog doo-doo in week 1 against Minnesota. Couldn't get anything going. Malik Neighbors looks like he could be good. He got 64 yards. His total was 64.5, so we got saved by the hook on the under yards there, but he's the only offensive weapon. Commanders do struggle a little bit in the secondary, which is kind of a concern here. But other than that, I think Daniels is going to throw the ball a lot more this week than run it. He'll still run it quite a bit, but I think Scary Terry sees a lot more stuff coming his way. Zach Ertz does as well. Maybe Austin Eckler. Maybe they get something going in the screen game. But we love us some Commanders. So let's give you all the bets in this one. Commanders -0.5 first quarter. -0.5 first half. -1.5 for the game. Daniels over 192.5 passing yards. Daniel Jones to throw a pick. Why not? Terry McLaurin to over 49.5 receiving yards. Low number for Scary Terry. Giants to lose the fumbles at plus money. They fumble the ball every week. Commanders over 20.5 team total. And Giants under 21.5 team total. All right, one more time. Commanders -0.5 first quarter, first half -1.5 for the game. Daniels over 192.5 pass yards. Jones for a pick. Terry McLaurin 50+ yards. Giants to lose a fumble. Commanders over 20.5. Giants under 21.5. Next game up, we're into the 1 o'clock window out here, specifically 4 o'clock Eastern time. Rams, Cardinals lead this thing off. Can somebody explain to me? Rams were favored, 2.5. The line has moved to Arizona. Did everybody just fall in love with the fact that they almost beat Buffalo or something? Let me give you something here. The Cardinals played really tough first quarter, first half, mostly last year, and when they had nobody. They don't got much more than last year. So they showed up and they competed first quarter, first half. What happened in the third quarter? Bills put their foot on their neck and figured out a way to finish off the game. Cardinals did cover. I don't like the Cardinals to win this game, though. Sean McVay owns them. Here's the other guy that owns them. His name is Kyren Williams. And, in fact, he's one of our biggest bets of the weekend for him. But Kyren Williams is an absolute monster. They should run the ball a ton. Now, I know there's a couple injuries offensive line. I know Puka Nacua's out. Stafford and Kupp are still there. Kyren Williams is still there. Demarcus Robinson steps up into the 2-hole. He should see some more action as well. Let's give you all the bets that we got in this game. We like this one quite a bit. No lie. And we're taking Rams money line for the game, first quarter and first half. So we don't even want the one. Let's just rock and roll there. Kyren Williams, who we mentioned, over 74.5 rush yards. We're also going to play Kyren Williams alternate line, 100+ rush yards. Kyler Murray interception. Marvin Harrison, under 58.5 receiving yards. I mean, he had one catch for 4 or 5, 6 yards in week 1, and his line only came down a few yards. Okay, I like the Rams secondary much better than I like the Bills. Kyler, why you take a receiver in the top 5 with Kyler as your quarterback, I don't know. You take running backs off, and you don't take running backs, but offensive linemen, defensive linemen, dudes to help protect him. He can make it work with tight ends and running backs, but wide receivers, besides Hopkins, have never been fabulous with him, right? And now you expect what? Marvin Harrison to come in and be what DeAndre Hopkins was? No, come on, guys. Let's get on with that. And Rams over 23.5 team total. One more time, Rams, Cardinals. Money line, first quarter, first half, and game for the Rams. Kyren Williams over 74.5 rush yards. Kyren Williams 100+ rush yards. Kyler Murray interception. Harrison Jr. under 58.5 receiving yards. Rams over 23.5 team total in that one. I think the Rams are going to grind that clock and grind that clock and grind that clock some more. Next game up, Bengals Chiefs. 5.5, 6 is where the number's been for the Chiefs. Bengals look like dog doo-doo week 1. Cost a lot of eliminator picks. They were about 35% of the eliminator picks out there, no matter what the platform, especially at the big one at the Circa, is they couldn't beat the Patriots at home when they're favored by a touchdown plus. Chiefs look good. Didn't look fantastic. I mean, they did the same thing they normally do, which is what? Slow down in the second half, which allowed Baltimore to hang around. Baltimore, a foot away from, going for 2 and possibly winning that game. But Chiefs do win by 7. They cover. Now, all these games in the past, everybody's like, well, it's always finished by 3. Winning teams won by 3. They've all been much later in the season, normally when the Bengals are cooking. They tend to start off really slow, and they have again this year, and tend to get hot as the season goes along. As once again, they don't play in the preseason. Guess who does? The Chiefs. Wonder if teams should start paying attention to the Super Bowl champions, what they do. God forbid. Let's give you all the bets we've got for Chiefs Bengals here, which we've got quite a few. Chiefs minus 5.5 for the game, minus 1.5 first quarter, 3.5 first half, 5.5 for the game. Chiefs over 26.5 team total. Mahomes over 271.5 passing yards. He might be the only guy to hit over 300 this week. Who knows? Burrow over 34.5 pass attempts, as they could not run the ball at all. And I think they'll try to run the ball here, but Zach Moss does not look real comfortable, out of that shotgun running the ball. And offensive line is not very good run blocking for the Bengals either. So Burrow, like I said, over the 34.5 pass attempts, over 22.5 completions as well for Burrow. Chase over 71.5 receiving yards. Moss under 48.5 rush yards. Chase for an anytime touchdown. Then the Chiefs side, we're going to play Kelsey over 50.5 receiving yards. George Karlaftis over a quarter of a sack, so just need a half a sack for him to cash on that one. Not sure who the Chiefs are going to score with. Pacheco could have I don't expect Pacheco to have a monster game, but should a solid game. If he can get some receiving yards out of the backfield, that helps. We expect Kelsey to get more than 4 targets in this one. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are fantastic pieces. Rice, definitely the second-year guy. Worthy looks faster than anybody else on the field. No question on a couple times he touched the ball and a couple touchdowns last week. But that's kind of where we expect. So Chiefs, like I said, first quarter, first half game, over to score 27+. Mahomes, 272+ passing. Kelsey over 51+. George Karlaftis, I keep saying the name wrong, over a quarter of his sacks, so he needs a half sack plus. Burrow to throw the ball a lot, 22.5 completions, 34.5 pass attempts. Chase over 71.5 receiving yards. He's always had monsters against the Chiefs. We expect him to bounce back. And then we've got Zach Moss under 48.5 rush yards. And Jamar Chase, which good value, plus 160 when we got him for an anytime touchdown. Next game up. All right, Steelers, Broncos. This is your freebie of the week. If you're just a guy that likes to bet lines and totals and, not necessarily get a bunch into the player props or team totals and all that kind of fun stuff, this is probably your easiest game on the board. Pittsburgh's defense, when healthy, guys, has been really good for multiple years. Here's been the issue. Normally, it's only good for being healthy for 1 week. They actually come in pretty healthy to week 2. Dominate the Falcons last week. Dominate. TJ Watt had 3 sacks called back because of penalties that weren't on him. He still ends up with getting a sack. And then you got rookie and Bo Nix, who threw for a couple picks last week. They are at home. But offensive line is not that great going against that pass rush. They didn't run the ball last week against the Seahawks, who are not going to be the best. We're one of the worst run defenses last year. They're improved. I give them that. But they're still not top 5. So what are they going to do? Bo Nix is going to throw the ball a lot for short passes again because it's a Sean Payton offense. I mean, you're going to probably see him throw the ball 35, 40 times for less than 200 yards. What kind of crap is that? You have one outside weapon in Cortland Sutton. Williams, I like quite a bit out of the backfield, but they don't give him enough touches, near enough. They'd rather throw the ball for a 2-yard gain, and they'd rather throw the ball 1st and 10, 2nd and 8, and 3rd and 6. You know what I mean? That's just the way the Sean Payton West Coast offense works. This is not New Orleans, folks, where he had Drew Brees at the helm, who could dial this up, and guys that got a lot of yard after catch. There's not the athletes that get a bunch of yak here for the Broncos. So your easy pick of the week, folks, is the Steelers. Let's give you all the bets we got in this one. Steelers -0.5 first quarter, -0.5 first half, and -2.5 for the game. I understand their offense looked putrid last week against Atlanta. 6 field goals doesn't get anybody excited. Trust me, I'm with you. But that defense is so good. Broncos under 17.5 team total. Bo Nix interception. By our way, our biggest bet so far this football season will be Bo Nix over 28.5 pass attempts that just got dropped about 6-7 hours ago. Huge play there for us. TJ Watt, 1+ sack. Let's give it to you one more time. Steelers -0.5 first quarter, -0.5 first half, 2.5 for the game. Bo Nix, interception, under 173.5 pass yards, over 28.5 pass attempts. TJ Watt, 1 sack. I don't know what any of the players for the Steelers are going to do. Pickens is going to be followed around by Patrick Surtain, so he's going to be limited. They should be able to run the ball, and they might run it 300. They might run it 50 times. If they do, they'll win. I mean, that's really honestly, let's not worry about throwing it, boys. Let's run the ball down their throat. Najee, Jalen Warren, and Justin Fields, let's go to work. Next game up, Sunday Night Football, Bears, Texans, 8:20. Out east, 5:20 here in Phoenix. So, Bears do win week 1. No thanks to the offense. Realistically, Caleb Williams, I mean, he had a kind of a week 1, rookie type of game, which was not a lot of good, but the defense and special teams were fantastic, especially second half. And let's look at the other side. Texans, 29-27 win. Mixon ran the ball for 2,000 yards, it seemed like, in that game, as the Colts could not stop him. He was getting 6 yards a clip. Stephon Diggs gets he gets touchies. Collins had a good day. Tank Dell wasn't involved a bunch, but they didn't throw the ball a hell of a lot, right? Mixon ran the ball so much in the second half. And that one, night game, Sunday night, everybody and their grandmother loves the Texans. I think the Texans are a very good team. I've got this feeling here that I don't know if Caleb's going to play much better, but this Bears defense, I believe, is for real, right? Caleb should play better than he did in week 1. I mean, Keenan Allen might be out, Odunze might be out, but I think that might help him as well. Focus on DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and DeAndre Swift. Instead of having, it's nice to have 5 weapons, But if you can't make 5 progressions in your reads, what does it matter? Right? So Sunday night game, let's give you the plays there. Bears plus 2.5 first quarter. Plus 3.5 first half. Plus 6.5 for the game. Caleb Williams, that number come down. Over 214.5 pass yards. Mixon under 69.5 rush yards. The Bears defense will shut that down. Swift over 42.5 rush yards. We're going back to the Diggs again, under 56.5 receiving yards. He was well under the 60 last week. He just, got some touchdowns, and everybody thinks all of a sudden that the Diggs-Stroud connection's big because he caught a touchdown. He didn't put up any yards, folks. He goes out for a 5-yard out or a 5-yard in. That's all he does. He is not the down the field threat that he was any longer. That team, for this team, that's Nico Collins and Tank Dell, right? And then also we like DJ Moore over 63.5 receiving yards. I think there's a lot of value there. The other guys could be out as well. So let's give you those picks one more time. Sunday Night Football. Bears, the dog, on the road, plus 2.5 first quarter, 3.5 first half, 6.5 for the game. Caleb Williams over 214.5 passing yards. Mixon under 70 rushing yards. Swift over 42 rushing yards. Diggs under 56 receiving yards. And DJ Moore over 63.5 receiving yards. All right, let's get to the Monday night game. Like we said at the start of the episode, we're going to put the Monday nighter in here as well. And if you guys want to look at a ball buster for next Thursday night as the primetime unders continue to arise, let's go Patriots-Jets for Thursday. Amazon just getting all the bonus coverage. Why would the Patriots be on a primetime game, folks? I mean, a team that was the top 3 pick last year and not going to start their rookie quarterbacks. There's no interest to watch them there, but that's another story for another day. Monday Night Football, Atlanta Falcons do travel to Philly. We've seen this episode before. Kirk Cousins, week 2 at Philadelphia on a primetime Monday night or Sunday night game. We've seen this episode a couple of seasons. Falcons getting 6.5, total at 47. Anybody think Kirk Cousins is going to win a primetime game? Or even cover? The way he looked last week? Eagles defense, not as solid as the Steelers. Let's state that one. But now they're on the road rather than at home. I honestly think they are going to have to throw the ball quite a bit. To beat Philly, you need to attack that secondary, which is going to lean a lot more on Cousins, less on Bijan, except in the passing game. I think that puts more pressure there for them. So we like the Eagles, minus 1.5 first quarter, 3.5 first half, and 6.5 for the game. I think the Eagles clean some stuff off offensively as well. So Eagles over 27.5 team total. Kirk Cousins for a pick. Kirk Cousins over 33.5 passing attempts. Bijan under 64.5 rushing yards. And then we've got a lot of Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith over 58.5 receiving yards, over 22.5 yards longest reception. Touchdown. And then we also like the Falcons to lose a fumble because Cousins is either going to get strip sacked and lose the fumble that way or somebody else is as well. So one more time, Eagles and Falcons, week 2, Monday Night Football. Chance for the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to 0-2 and panic starts to set in Atlanta. Eagles minus 1.5 first quarter, 3.5 first half, 6.5 for the game. Eagles 28 plus points. Cousins for a pick. Cousins over 33.5 pass attempts. Like I said, we think he's throwing the ball a bunch. Bijan under 64.5 rushing yards. He did really well in the pass game last week, not so much on the ground. Falcons to lose a fumble. And then Devontae Smith, 59 plus receiving yards, 23 plus yards on the longest reception, and Devontae Smith anytime touchdown, which was almost 2-1 on FanDuel earlier this week. So make sure you check that out. Obviously, we just went through a ton of bets. If you include the Thursday night game with us, we easily have 140 bets for the NFL. There is a ton of them to go through. Obviously, I don't expect anybody to play all of these. But they are available, and we might be adding more. So where do you check those out? End of every episode that we do on YouTube, TikTok, and YouTube channel pages. There will be a link to our Google Sheets. It is docs.google.com/spreadsheet. Bunch of other stuff behind it. Click that link. Go to the tab of Football 24-25. And then scroll down to NFL Week 2. You'll be able to see all the plays. Tua getting hurt did screw up a lot of our Thursday night action. But we had a fantastic week 1 in the NFL. Week 1, I think 600 plus units up in week 1. We're a little down going into week, this week so far, but it happens, right? We're either going to kill that Thursday night game or probably screw it all up. This is the way it normally goes, right? So unfortunately, we didn't master the Thursday game. That's all right. We feel real confident about the board here. We're going to make some money. Do you like the content that you're seeing and want to see some more? No problem at all. Make sure you hit follow or subscribe, depending on the social media platform you're watching us on. And you will show up in your follower subscriptions tab. Do you want access to the private Discord and get all these bets well before what we posted here? You can do so as well. All you need to do is go to TikTok, hit the subscription, choose your subscription package, and then let us know. We will message you back to get your user ID for Discord, and you'll also be allowed in Discord. There is another capper in there as well, plus some conversations going on a constant basis, and you get access to all the sports: football, baseball, basketball, Formula One, whatever we got, WNBA, whatever we got going on, you'll have access to everything. So make sure you check that out when you get some time as well. And we have a bunch of promo bonus bets to give away all over the place. Every state, only one state we don't have anything in, and that would be Nevada. But otherwise, online casinos, sports books, fantasy sites, we've got access and promo bonus bets to all of those for you. Make sure you check that out as well. TikTok and YouTube channel page, that's bit.ly/sportsbets for free -BH. Click on the link or copy and paste the link, depending on which one of those you're on. That'll put you right in the default to the state that you're in and show you everything that we have available. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.